Hi, welcome back once again to CBSE Board Economics. I'm Saddam Hussain. Welcome you all. Today we're discussing Keynesian economics. Keynesian economics is synonymous with macroeconomics. The most important part of Keynesian economics is equilibrium level of income, employment and output, how to achieve full employment. Even in recent days, all the economies try to adopt the Keynesian concepts to achieve the equilibrium level or the full employment level in the economy. All the economies in the world are striving to get the same concepts. What Keynes has given long time back, they're still applicable. So let's see what is equilibrium level of income, employment and output. There are two approaches here. One is ADAS approach, that also we call it as C+I approach, consumption and investment approach. The other approach is savings and investment approach. One is C+I, one is S and I approach. Let's discuss the equilibrium level of income, employment and output through C+I approach, consumption plus savings approach. That is equilibrium level of income, employment and output, consumption and investment approach. We call it as C+I approach. We know the economy is at equilibrium when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. You learn it. This is the first concept to learn it, when AD is equal to AS. Aggregate demand in the economy is equal to aggregate supply. If the aggregate demand for goods and services in the economy is $100 billion, and if the supply of goods and services is equivalent to $100 billion, there is equilibrium of the economy. AD is equal to S. We already know that AD stands for C+I. We already learned AD stands for consumption expenditure plus investment expenditure. People demand goods in the economy either for consumption or for investment purposes. So C+I. And what is aggregate supply? It's the total supply of goods and services. When you say that's nothing but national income, in terms of national income, aggregate supply is nothing but. So national income, either we consume or we save. So AS, we can write it as C plus S. So at the equilibrium level of income, employment, AD is equal to S, or we can write it as C plus I, AD, and C plus S is C plus I is equal to C plus S. C gets cut, and then at the equilibrium level of income and employment, investment are equivalent to savings. This is all planned. This is all expected. How to achieve it? This is a plan, or we can call it also ex ante in French. Ex ante means plan or estimated of what we are going to achieve. Plan expenditure in the economy should be equal to plan output. C plus I, plan ex ante, AD should be equal to ex ante AS, or ex ante investment should be equal to ex ante savings. There's a planned savings in the economy should be equal to planned output. I repeat once again, then we'll explain it with the help of a graph. According to Keynes, the economy will be at equilibrium level of income, employment and output when AD is equal to AS. We already know aggregate demand is the total demand, or what the people are planning to spend on consumption and investment. The total expenditure in the economy should be equal to the total output, the planned output. That is AD, and output is AS, which is nothing but national income. We already know that AD is equal to C plus I and AS is equal to C plus S. So at the equilibrium level of income, AD is equal to AS. So when AD is equal to AS, C plus I is equal to C plus S. So C gets cancelled. So at the equilibrium level of income, employment and output, savings are equivalent to investment. The planned savings are equivalent to planned investment. So the economy will be at equilibrium when AD is equal to AS. The second point you recollect, AD stands for C plus I and AS stands for C plus S. Hence, at the equilibrium level of income, employment, C plus I is equal to C plus S. S is equal to I automatically. Now, this whole thing we can understand with the help of a graph. Look at this graph here. On the x-axis, we got income, employment and output. On the y-axis, we got aggregate demand. This is the 45 degrees line. We call it as income line, AS. So this is the 45 degrees line, AS C plus S. This is the guiding line which helps us to achieve the equilibrium. It helps us to find out the equilibrium level of income, employment and output. So this is AD always starts above the zero axis. It never starts from zero because of autonomous consumption. We already learned demand can never be zero in the economy, whether there is income, national income or not. It always starts from the point above zero axis. As income is increasing, this is the income. So then AD is also increasing, aggregate demand is also increasing. So a stage comes in the economy at this point E, we call it as equilibrium point. At this point AD is equal to AS. This is the equilibrium point where AD is equal to AS. So by producing OQ level of output here at the income, OQ, employment and output. So why the economy cannot be at equilibrium before the OQ level of output? Why it can't be at equilibrium after the equilibrium level of output? We analyze it. Before the equilibrium level of output, you can see it here graphically, AD is greater than AS. That means what people are willing to spend, demand is greater than what is being produced in the economy. That means demand is greater than supply. Aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. The people are willing to spend more money than what is being produced. As a result, what happens when the demand is more than supply? Output will increase, income will increase, employment level increase. So obviously the people start producing more, the factories work. So as a result, more people are employed. So their income will go up, their employment level will go up, output will go up, and this gap between AD and AS is being bridged. You can see it here. This is getting bridged here till the point AD becomes equal to AS at the equilibrium level of income, employment and output. AD is equal to AS at OQ level of output. Now if you see it here, why the economy cannot be at equilibrium level of income, employment and output after OQ level of output, say at OQ2. At OQ2, you can see here, aggregate supply is greater than aggregate demand. So in the economy, we are producing more than what is being required, what is being demanded in the economy in terms of consumption expenditure, investment expenditure. So when aggregate supply is greater than aggregate supply, it leads to excess supply. As a result, the producers get losses. It leads to unnecessary, unwanted stockpiling situation in the economy. There will be too much of stockpiling of goods. As a result, what happens? The producers will stop production, output will fall, income level will fall, employment level will fall, again till the point AD becomes equal to AS at the equilibrium level of income, employment and output at point E. Hence, we conclude that the economy can be at equilibrium only when AD is equal to AS. That is the point here at OQ. There cannot be any other equilibrium level of income, employment and output. I repeat once again, we are discussing C plus I approach or AD and AS approach of determination of income and employment output in the economy. According to Keynes, J.M. Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, the economy will be at equilibrium. This is the first point, remember, this way it becomes easier. The economy will be at equilibrium when AD is equal to AS. We already know that aggregate demand is equal to C plus I and aggregate supply is C plus S. So when AD is equal to AS, it means that the people, what they are planning to spend is equal to the planned output. So when AD is equal to what people are planning to spend is equal to what people, the producers are willing to supply. AD is equal to S, C plus I is equal to C plus S. So at the equilibrium, C plus I is equal to C plus S. So automatically the planned savings are equivalent to planned investment. Ex ante savings are equivalent to ex ante investment. So at the equilibrium level of income, employment and output, AD is equal to AS. You cannot have any other equilibrium point. It's shown with the help of a graph. You can see it here carefully. So on the x-axis, we got income, employment and output. On the y-axis, we got AD, aggregate demand, C plus I. This 45 degrees line is a guiding line. This we call it as also income line, AS line, C plus S. Any point on this line shows the equilibrium level of income, employment, and output. It's only a guiding line. Aggregate demand always starts above the zero axis in the positive range of y-axis, because AD can never be zero because of autonomous consumption. Consumption can never be zero in the economy, and neither investment can be zero. To produce something, we need some investment. So both these curves intersect each other at point T, where AD is equal to AS, by producing OQ level of output here. That's the equilibrium level of output, income, employment level. We can look at from two angles. If you see, before the equilibrium level of income, employment, and output, AD is greater than AS. That means there is a shortfall in output than what people are demanding. So there is a big demand for goods and services than what is being produced by the producers. As a result, the producers start increasing the employment, output will go up, income will go up, employment level will go up, and the gap between AD and AS is being bridged till the point AD becomes equal to AS. If you go beyond OQ level of output, it leads to unnecessary, unwanted stockpiling situation. That means in the economy, more is produced than what is required. As a result, producers or the enterprises experience losses. They decrease the output, employment level, income, everything will fall, and this gap is being bridged till the point AD becomes equal to AS. So the economy will be at equilibrium only at that point where AD is equal to AS. You cannot have any other equilibrium level of income, employment, and output. That's all we have time for today. Till we meet next time, it's goodbye from Saddam Hussein. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our videos, and work hard for your exams. Best of luck.